guys, how are you? Welcome back to my kitchen. I don't know about you guys, but I had a freaking fantastic Saturday. The weather was fantastic. It was a little on the windy side, but hey, no mosquitoes, right? I went outside and I got 3 of our decks. We have 3 different decks. I've got most of the patio furniture out. Everything's washed off and stuff. I do have to stain one deck, so I just kind of got everything off to the side. That was amazing. I did 3 loads of laundry. The last one's in the dryer right now. I got all my floors done. It was a really, really productive day. And to start it off with, I wanted to sleep in, but my dogs woke me up. They had to go to the washroom. So by the time I took them outside for about a half-hour walk. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was wide awake. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to do a little bit of a workout. And yeah, I did. Was it my best workout? Absolutely not. But at least I got it done. And you know what? Just by doing that and starting my day like that, I had enough energy to get a ton of stuff done. Got some more lettuce planted. Yeah, just lots and lots of things. So what I want to do is I wanted to have a nice supper, but I really wasn't in the mood for a heavy supper. And also have to watch my portion control. So I am still kind of a bigger eater. So I thought, hey, let's fill up on some good greens. So tonight I've decided I'm going to make myself a steak, strawberry, and spinach salad. And did you know that you can make your own salad dressings? Yeah, I've been making mine because I don't know if you read the ingredients on salad dressings. There's lots of sugars and there's lots of stuff in there that you just don't want into your body. And homemade salad dressings are the absolute best. And they can last in your fridge for a couple weeks. So you can make a small amount. Okay, very first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to heat up, and I should have been doing that while I was talking to you. I'm going to heat up my pan here. What I'm going to do is I wanted to have in my salad some candied pecans, but of course, no pecans. So I looked at my pantry and I actually found some walnuts. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that the same thing. So what we're going to start off with here is we're going to put about a tablespoon of butter into your frying pan. And we're just going to let that melt a little bit. So in the comments, once again, I tried to do a live and my lives aren't working. So hopefully tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night I can do a live. See if I can find a right time that the bandwidth is good enough or whatever you call it. I just keep getting booted off of my lives right now. But in the comments, I want to know what you guys did today, okay? Did you take some time to relax or did you get some stuff done? What are your plans for the summer? I don't want to scare John, and I know he's not on Facebook, so he's not going to see this, because he's not a Facebook kind of guy, but I really am thinking about putting a pond in this year. I know it's going to be a ton of work. Like everything, our acreage is in the middle of a pasture, basically. So every plant, every tree, every single thing we've done, we had to do ourselves. But I'm really, really thinking that I might want to put a pond in. And this year, I think John, because of this whole COVID thing, he won't be working in BC. He might be a little bit closer to home, so he can actually dig it with our bobcat. And yeah, so I'm kind of thinking about that. I'm still in the planning stages. My friend Michelle is supposed to help me design something. And also Polly Painter, if you're out there, Polly, I need some help to figuring out what I want to do, if I want to do a pond. I know every year I probably take on a little tiny bit more than I should. Okay, so we've got our 1 tablespoon of butter, nicely melted. Now I'm going to add my sweetener. Now you can add whatever sweetener you want, but because I am kind of trim, healthy, mama, keto-ish, we don't use real sugar. So I have a sugar substitute here. Now this is a Sugar and Gold brown sugar alternative. I think I got this at Nutter's, not 100% sure. It's either Nutter's or at Sweet and Sprouted in Saskatoon. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to melt that yummy, yummy brown sugar in with my butter. Swirl it around a little bit. And I'm probably going to add about a cup of walnuts. So that's what I have. Oh, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I see we're smoking a little bit. Okay, so maybe I think that's probably good enough for our walnuts. So I'm going to just stir this around a little bit. Get everything nicely coated. I don't know if it's just the brown sugar or what, but I seem to have a little bit of smoke happening here. I'm just going to pull this up. Now, if you were using pecans, you'd want to make this a little bit, till your pecans are a little toasty. And of course, like I said, I'm doing a walnut because that's the kind of nuts I have in the pantry. I'm gonna put that on my grocery list. Some pecans though, because candied pecans are amazing. They're really expensive too, so you can easily make your own. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but see how all the nuts are nicely coated in this brown sugary kind of butter mixture? And it's pretty good. Like my sauce is already quite like thickened up in here. Because as it cooks and stuff, it's going to thicken up a little bit. Okay, what I'm going to do before I'm finished, now this is totally optional. Again, you don't have to do it, but I'm going to slightly dust them with a tiny, tiny bit of cinnamon and a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of cayenne pepper. Because just to give it a little bit of bite in my salad. So I'm just going to spin that around a little bit now that I've got that stuff on there. Smells delicious. Okay, I'm going to shut my stove off. And then all I'm going to do here is I just have a plate with some parchment paper on it. So I'm just going to throw wax paper, parchment paper, whatever you have. And I'm just going to put them down in a nice little flat pile here. Scrape off all that little extra gooiness. Yes, we want that gooiness on there. So all we're going to do is we're just going to spread that out a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, just for time's sake, I'm going to pop it into the freezer. You can put this in your fridge too, but you just want it to get like a little bit hard before we put it on our salad. So I have that in my freezer. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make our homemade poppy seed dressing. And it's super, super, super easy. So all we're going to do here, and I've got my other end. Now, hey, I don't know if you guys have seen these things before or not. I flippin' love them. This is from Pampered Chef. I probably have 2 or 3 of these. What it is, it's a 2-sided spatula. So I've already used this one. I got all gooiness on there. So now I'm going to use the other side. Like a super handy little tool. So I'm just going to put in my, I'm going to do mine in my Ninja. You can mix this up in a shaker if you want. You can just use a whisk. It's totally fine. In your blender, I wouldn't make a mess for a whole blender thing. Okay, so we got half a cup of mayo. I think I'll get rid of that thing there too. Next thing we're going to add is we're going to add about a tablespoon of poppy seeds. And there we go. And after that, we're going to add, now poppy seed dressing is really, really sweet. You can control your own sugar in here. You can put as much as you want. If you want to use real sugar, you really can. I am using a Truvia in here. And I'm just going to put in 1 tablespoon. I know a lot of people would put up to 2 tablespoons in there, but I definitely want to cut the little sweetness out a little bit myself too. So I got a tablespoon of that in there. Next, we're going to add a tablespoon of white vinegar, just regular old white vinegar. A tablespoon of that is going to go in there. I'm just going to try to get some of this stuff out of here. And then we're going to take a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil in here. Most salad dressings kind of seem to have an oil base. There we go. And we're going to put that in there. That out of the way, and I'm going to just take my Himalayan pink sea salt. I'm just going to give it a couple twirls in there, a little bit for flavor, but also too, I am keeping this in my fridge a little bit, so you know, it just helps keep it better. Okay, so then we're going to just take this and we're going to blend it up. Give it a quick shake because there's still some on the bottom there. Give it a little shake and we'll blend it up a little bit more. If you find your dressing is a little on the thick side, so I'm thinking mine is, yeah, I guess it's not bad. I'm just going to give it a little taste here. Very good. So for me, that's sweet enough. Taste it. If all of a sudden you want to have a little bit more sweetener or whatever, you can add that a little bit more. Okay, now we're gonna assemble our salad. And oh, you know what? I think I'm going to, I haven't cut these up yet. Excuse me, I thought I was going to have that done. What I'm doing here is in my spinach salad, and your salads, they're yours. Do what you want with them. I'm gonna have some spinach, of course. I'm gonna use some big cucumbers that I sliced up, or some mini cucumbers, but I chunked them up quite good. Might come up a little bit more. We've got some strawberries. I've got some steak from the barbecue, and I've got some feta cheese, and I got a little bit here, and I'm just gonna chop these up too. These are some sweet or orange peppers that I had that were just left over. I'm gonna take some onion. And you can use just regular onion too. I happen to love, as you guys know, love the red pickled onion. And it, like, again, it's so super to make yourself. And it's great, like with, I love it with barbecued stuff. So like with the steak and stuff, it's gonna be super fantastic. I'm just gonna take my peppers and just, I had them in strings because I'd used them with my wrap at lunch. And I got a few cucumbers, and I'm looking at my cucumbers now. I think they might be a little bit on the big side. So I'm just going to rough chop them just a little bit more. You don't have to if you don't want to. Totally fine. We'll have a few big ones in there. I like bigger veggies in salad too. I think it gives it a nice appearance. Okay, then we're going to take our bowl here, and we're just going to throw our salad in. I'm going to see if okay, so I'm going to dump in my freshly washed spinach. I'm going to throw some of that in there. I don't know if you guys can see me. I should just move this just a tad bit more. Whoop. Sorry about that. So we're going to throw some spinach in here. Freshly washed. I should just, there we go. I don't know if I want all that. That's good. Okay. Then we are going to add our veggies. Just throw them in here. Our purple onion, our cucumber. Ooh, that's looking super, super yummy. Now you can use goat cheese too if you want in here. I've made it with goat cheese. It's freaking fantastic. I didn't have any goat cheese, but I did have some feta cheese because I usually have a big container of feta cheese in my fridge. Just tossing this up a little bit. We're gonna put a little bit of feta in there. And this stuff just, you know, just crumble it on there however you want. Goat cheese is really good on here though too. We're going to take some of our freshly sliced strawberries, super, super good, and some of our steak. It's as simple as that. Now, can you put the dressing on? Absolutely. The thing is, if I don't eat all of this, then it's going to get soggy. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a tissue here. I am just going to grab a salad bowl. Now what I'm going to do is give myself some salad. There we go. You know what I totally forgot? I totally forgot some almonds. I'm just going to take the almonds here, and I'm just going to put them a little bit into my salad as well. And I'll throw some of this other salad after, because what I'm going to do with this one is I can just put this in a container, and then it's lunch for tomorrow. So it's fantastic. So I'm just going to show you guys. Oh, and I want to send a shout out to Karen. You are amazing. She's always encouraging me. And also Thea sent me a message today that she likes these videos. I hope you guys do. If you don't, just scroll on by. It gives me something to do when John's not home. Yeah, and I love to cook, and I love to do simple recipes. As you can tell, my recipes are all pretty short, and I like that because I don't want a long recipe at the end of a hard day. So all I'm going to do is just drizzle some of this yummy poppy seed on there. Homemade poppy seed dressing that we made together. Look at that. Like goodness in a bowl. And there's supper for you. You can serve that along the side with that keto bread biscuit thing. That was, by the way, it was freaking amazing. It was really good. Now, I got a few people asking me if you need a cast iron frying pan. I don't know for sure if you do. Some people said you can cook it in the microwave. I don't cook in my microwave. I use my microwave for defrosting or for melting or whatever. I don't really cook in there, so I'm not really sure how you can. If you want to cook in your microwave, go ahead. So you can probably use a silicone baking dish, Tupperware dish, whatever, to do it. All you're doing is you're putting it in the oven. So any kind of baking dish, I'm sure, would work. I prefer to cook it in the oven. You can definitely cook it wherever you want. I just love that smell of garlic bread cooking in the oven. But yeah, but I'm sure any baking dish would totally work. The cast iron though, one thing I noticed is the bottoms of the biscuits are really nice and crispy. I don't know if a regular baking dish would do that. I have no idea. If you try it, let me know. I'd love to know if it works. So anyways, I have a little taste of this. I'm going to, part of my back deck is covered, so I'm going to take the dogs out there and we're going to sit out there and just look at spring arriving. Anyways, bon appetit. Goodness in a bowl. Super easy. Healthy. You've controlled all the ingredients going in there, and this is something that you can have a pretty good portion size and not worry about a whole lot of calories or anything like that. Anyways, once again, have a great weekend and be kind out there. The world is a wicked place. Anyways, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining me.